Hello, welcome back to my channel, Family Tech, where you get all the tech tips, news, and information you didn't even know you needed. Today, we're gonna talk about smoke detectors. I know, it's super exciting, but hear me out. If you're still using the smoke detectors that came with your house, builder grade smoke detectors, you are going to want to upgrade, and I'm going to show you exactly how to upgrade and what the benefits are to upgrading to a smart smoke detector. So check it out. So smoke detectors are those kind of things where you don't really notice them until you notice them. So whether it's 2 a.m. and your smoke detector starts chirping because the battery is dead, my favorite Friends clip comes to mind whenever that happens.
Please don't be a spaceship. Please don't be a spaceship. Oh, thank God. How could you be beeping? I just disconnected you. I took out your battery. Don't interrupt me.
Or if there is an actual emergency, that's when you notice the smoke detectors and that's when you want to take action. And if it is a builder grade smoke detector, there's some features here that you are going to want for yourself. The first thing I'm going to talk about, so I'm specifically talking about the Google Nest Protect. Now, there are a few other smart smoke detectors out there. The Google Nest Protect is actually my favorite. I have tried several of them, and I really think that the Google Nest Protect is the best one out there. Now, I've got some reasons for it, and I'll get right into those. First, most smoke detectors these days will have a smoke and carbon monoxide detection. So that way, if there is carbon monoxide in your house, which is poisonous and dangerous to people, or if there is a fire or smoke emergency, then the alarm will sound. Now, with the Google Nest Protect, it's actually going to give you a quick little warning before it really starts to alarm. And the alarm will say, hey, there's smoke in the kitchen or a fire in the kitchen or something like that. So this just happened to me the other day. I was making some steak. It was smoking a lot. And then my Google Nest Protect sounded the alarm, but it gave me a little warning before it really started to make some really loud noises. So it's saying, hey, there's smoke in the kitchen, and then it's going to sound the alarm. So you have a little bit of time to get to your app and disable that alarm if it's something that you already know about. But what the great thing is with the Google Nest Protect is multiple people can be logged in. So if you have a Google family account where all of your kids and spouse are listed in the Google account under the family settings, then you can allow them to access this as well. And that way they can silence alarms. They can get notifications of alarms. So say I'm out of town or I'm unavailable, it will alarm on their phones as well so that they can address that. You know, if they're out of the house and it says there's a fire in the kitchen, they can rush home and figure out what's going on in the kitchen. So I really like that. And this is one thing that is kind of better than some of the other smoke detectors that I have tested, is that it can alert multiple people and multiple people can interact with the alarm. So we're going to talk about silencing the alarm because, again, there are false alarms. I mean, and not necessarily false alarms. We'll get into the really false alarm in a little bit later. But there are false alarms where I'm just cooking some steak, it's smoking more than usual, it's sounding the alarm. I can open up my app and silence that alarm directly from the app. And why this is beneficial is sometimes the smoke detectors are very high up where, you know, if I have vaulted ceilings or things like that, it's going to be very difficult for me to reach up and tap that smoke detector to silence the alarm. So I can silence the alarm from the app. I don't need to grab a ladder while it's blaring in my ear to try and get that silenced. So the other big benefit is, like I mentioned earlier, if the battery is running low, you will be notified in the app first before it starts chirping at 2 o'clock in the morning, because I swear batteries never run out on a smoke detector unless it is 2 o'clock in the morning. If you have little kids or babies, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it never fails. Anytime where there should be silence, where it's going to be difficult to get the baby back to sleep, then your alarm will sound or the battery warning will start chirping, and you won't be able to silence it because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And who has time to go out and grab a 9-volt battery at that time? So with the Nest Protect, you're going to be warned inside the app long before anything that's going to start chirping in the middle of the night. So you can address it at that point. So I mentioned about false alarms, and this is a false alarm that has happened on multiple occasions with previous smoke detectors. It has not happened since I installed the Nest Protect. So my kid's bathroom is right in front of a smoke detector that's in the hallway. So the smoke detector is in the hallway, right on the outside of the kid's bathroom door. My kids take very long, hot showers. Steam accumulates in their bathroom. When my daughter would open the door after taking a shower, she would trip the smoke detector on multiple occasions. And she takes showers pretty early in the morning to get ready for school. So these alarms would sound at like 6 a.m. because she tripped it because of the steam coming out of the bathroom. Well, the Nest Protect actually has some technology in it that can help it determine whether it is smoke or steam that it's detecting, and it won't sound the alarm for the steam. That is a setting. It's defaulted to toggled on, so that is on, but you can turn that off if you are extremely concerned. But I really like that we have not had any early morning wake-up calls since we installed the Nest Protect. Another really fun feature of the Google Nest Protect is a lighted path. So there's a ring on the Google Nest, and that ring will light up as you get near it. So it basically lights the way to wherever you're going. So if you have a Nest Protect in every room and in the hallways, then you will always have kind of a little lighted guiding system that is motion sensitive so that you can find your way in the dark. So now that I've sold you on the Google Nest Protect, how do you replace these devices? So if you're still using builder grade devices, you're going to want to take the device off of the wall for just a minute, just to check to see if there is a wired connection inside. Because if there's a wired connection, you will likely want to purchase the wired Google Nest Protect. If there is not a wired connection, then you will want to purchase the batteried Google Nest Protect. Now, there is a difference between these two that is very important to distinguish. What I discovered is that the mount for the battery version of the Google Nest Protect is not the same size as the mount for the wired version. When I went to put the battery version of the Nest Protect on the same spot where I had a wired smoke detector, it did not fit. And so I had to go back to the store, switch out my battery one for a wired one, and I replaced all of the other ones with wired smoke detectors. So the other thing that is really great about these Nest Protect devices is you don't have to have a wired connection in order to install this smoke detector. And this was really important for me because we built on an addition to our house. And in that addition, we did not have wiring for a smoke detector. I wanted to get a smoke detector in this new section of our house, and I was really pleased to be able to grab just the battery version of the Nest Protect and put it up and have that mounted just like a normal wired device, and it works just the same. I will have to change the batteries in that more frequently than I would have to for any of the wired devices, but again, I will be notified in the app when those batteries get low. So that's a very important distinction. If you have wired smoke detectors, you might want to check and see if that mount is going to be the right size to replace what is already there. In my case, it was not the right size. The the holes that where you would put the screws in did not go wide enough. So very important. The wired version actually has 3 different spots where the screws could be. So that is really helpful in order to mount that to any box that you already have installed on your ceilings. So in order to replace an older smoke detector, go ahead and pull the smoke detector off the ceiling. You may need to twist it a little bit to get it to disconnect. Then disconnect the wiring from the smoke detector. Once you've disconnected it, unscrew the screws so that you can pull the base off of the ceiling. Before you start messing with the cables, make sure to turn off the breaker to this area. You do not want to have any power going through these cables when you start touching them. Go ahead and disconnect the previous smoke detector connection from the cabling. Depending on how it's connected, you may need to untwist some of these cables to get it completely disconnected. Now that the previous connection has been disconnected, you can connect the new connector for the Google Nest Protect. Make sure to match up the colors of the cables. So a black should be matched up with the black and the white should be matched up with the white. If you have any additional cabling, make sure to cap those off so that there is no exposed copper wire. Go ahead and push the cabling back up into the box, leaving the connection out, and then put the base through that connection and then screw that back up into the ceiling with the provided screws. Once the base is all set into the ceiling, go ahead and download the Nest app onto your phone. To add a new device, tap the circle in the top right corner and then select Add Product. Scan the QR code from the smoke detector and it should detect the device. Go ahead and hit Next and select where you will be placing this smoke detector. It should download the Wi-Fi information to the device and then continue to ask you for different options you would like to set on the device. If you hit Next, it will eventually finish the installation and you will be complete. Now you are ready to connect the smoke detector to the ceiling through the connection you have already established. Go ahead and plug it in and put it in the grooves so that it matches up and then twist it to lock it into place. So hopefully that tutorial helps you out just a little bit. It was actually really easy to do. I was able to do it myself. I couldn't do it in the addition because I'm not tall enough. So my spouse was able to get that installed for me. So I really appreciate that. But that's how you get these installed. And if you liked this video, definitely go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I do all sorts of tech tips for the family, helping you understand and manage the technology in your home. Follow me on Instagram. I am Family Tech on all social media platforms. So go ahead and find me on your favorite social media platform, and I will see you next time.